He smiled. He stretched. He called her a beautiful child's mother. Not my girl. Not my woman. A child's mother. Like he was filing a tax form on camera. And somehow that one phrase, 6 little words, told us more about this whole situation than any of those staged sidewalk arguments ever did. Pause it. Replay it. Watch the shoulders. Watch the eyes. That wasn't a man dodging a question. That was a man answering it without answering it. And once you hear it that way, you can't unhear it. Before we go any deeper, y'all already know the drill. Tap the like, hit subscribe, ring the bell. Family of Fame Cryptix, don't miss anything. And I promise the back half of this one is where the receipts start stacking. Let's get into it. So here's the timeline, clean and quick. Tuesday, June 3rd, 2026. Stefon Diggs, yeah, the New England Patriots wideout, $69 million man, 3-year deal, gets caught by a TMZ camera coming off the track somewhere outside D.C. The interviewer slides in with 3 questions. Are y'all back together? What about Offset's DNA test? And are the Commanders calling? Diggs goes 0 for 3 on real answers. Same day, on a completely different docket in South Florida bankruptcy court, Cardi B's legal team files an affidavit. 6-figure number attached. 2 filings. 2 coasts. 1 very loud week. Now watch how the words actually came out. Straight from the man's mouth, June 3rd, when asked if he and Cardi were back together. That's a beautiful child's mother. I love her to death, but you have to ask her. Okay, same interview. Pressed about the now infamous gym sidewalk blowup that ran on every blog for 72 straight hours. He shrugged it off with, "Oh, I don't even think that was an argument." Dry as a saltine. When the reporter brought up Offset's reported request for a DNA test on the baby, a story that lived on every major outlet for weeks, Diggs hit them with, "I mean, I don't know. I didn't see that. I'm not online too much. Sorry. Sir, you're a professional athlete with a verified IG, a clothing line called Leam, and a documented habit of liking posts at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday. The not online defense ain't gonna fly here." Now flip the coast. South Florida bankruptcy court, same week, from the filing itself. Cardi's team is requesting more than $110,000 in legal fees tied to monitoring and enforcing the contempt order against Latasha Kebe, Tasha K, to the internet. That number ain't symbolic. That's 2 firms, Mellon, Budwick, and Ratchek, itemizing months of receipts at hourly rates running between $675 and $900. And from people walking back the same week's narrative. The pair, who welcomed a son together in November 2025, previously sparked reconciliation rumors in April. Reconciliation rumors. Plural. In April. Then again Mother's Day. Then again this week. Y'all see what I see. Somebody's writing a season arc. Alright, line it up. November 2025. Baby boy arrives. The internet immediately tries to name him Leam. Cardi shuts that down. Says Leam is actually Diggs' fashion brand. April 2026. Diggs shows up at Cardi's Little Miss Drama event. Soft launch of the We're Cool PR cycle. Mother's Day 2026. Full Diggs Deep Foundation event. Public kiss. Every gossip outlet runs the same 5 photos. Late May. That gym parking lot argument video drops. Blows up. Gets dissected frame by frame on TikTok. And then June 3rd. The interview where he flattens all of it into "you have to ask her." Actually, hold on, back up. Because the part everyone's glossing over is the calendar overlap. Same exact week the camera caught Diggs at the track playing coy. Cardi's lawyers are in a Miami courtroom telling a federal judge to slap Tasha K with the 6-figure fee award. The May 13th court order gave them 21 days to submit the affidavit. Count it forward. June 3rd is the deadline. That deadline wasn't picked by Cardi. That was picked by the judge. The Diggs interview, though, that timing's a little more interesting. Now layer in the Patriots angle. ESPN reported earlier that New England has been weighing Diggs' future after his first season with the team. There's been chatter about his roster bonus and even potential release scenarios. So when the reporter asks about the Commanders, that's not a random pivot. That's a real conversation in real NFL circles. The man's contract status, his relationship status, and his ex's paternity drama all collided in the same 90-second clip. And the gag is, None of those three things have a clean answer right now, which is exactly why he sounded the way he sounded. Listen to the verb tense. That's a beautiful child's mother. Present tense. Not the mother of my son. Not my partner. A child's possessive case attached to the baby, not to him. Linguistically, he just orphaned himself from the title. He's the one with the kid. She's the one with the kid. There's a kid. Everybody loves the kid. That's the whole sentence. That's the entire emotional architecture he was willing to build on camera. Now compare that to literally any quote Offset ever gave about Cardi when they were married. Offset, for all his mess, never had a problem saying my wife. Ever. He'd say it on songs, on lives, in front of judges. The man oversaid it. He branded it. Diggs, contrast that. Over a year of public dating, a baby, a Mother's Day kiss, and we still ain't got a single sentence from him that contains the words, my girlfriend. Not one. I had to scroll back through every interview from the last 8 months to make sure I wasn't tripping. I wasn't tripping. Pop the hood on this $110,000 filing. It's not one number, it's a stack. Firm 1, Mellon Budwick around $43,000 in enforcement fees, plus reply brief fees, plus costs. Firm 2, Mrachek around $44,000 in enforcement fees, $5,000 in reply fees, costs on top. Combined ask. North of $110,000. And remember, this is on top of the $3.8 million defamation judgment Tasha K already owes from the original 2022 verdict that's still sitting unpaid through her subchapter v. bankruptcy. The judge has 14 days from Tasha's response to rule. He can grant all of it, slice it, or zero it. But the structural reality? The court already found contempt back on May 13th. The fight isn't whether she pays the fee award. The fight is how much. That's a war that's already lost. Cardi's team is just haggling over the body bag price. One more thing nobody's looped on. In the TMZ clip, there's a dude in the background, not the interviewer, somebody in Diggs' orbit, and he keeps trying to redirect. Man, it's not the time for that. 3 times he tries it. 3 times Diggs waves him off and answers anyway. That's not a man being ambushed. That's a man who decided, before the camera turned on, what he was and wasn't going to say. The handler wanted control. Diggs wanted plausible deniability. 2 different strategies. Same camera. TMZ framed the clip as Diggs downplays Cardi B drama. Neutral verb. Implies the drama was overheated and he's the calm one cooling it down. Helpful framing for him. People magazine ran their version as Diggs kisses Cardi B at Mother's Day event amid reconciliation rumors, published weeks earlier, and stitched the gym video into a romantic comeback arc. Different verb, different vibe. They framed him as a returning lover, not a deflecting one. Then Billboard came at the legal stuff completely separately, clinical, dollar figure first, treating the $110,000 filing as a discrete business story with no Diggs overlap whatsoever. 3 outlets, 3 Cardis. Romantic Cardi. Litigious Cardi. Background character Cardi. Pick your fighter. Now the loudest countertake floating in comment sections goes something like, y'all reaching. The man was at the track. He just wanted to work out. Leave him alone. And I'll steelman it for a second, fair. Athletes do get ambushed. TMZ does manufacture moments. And I have to ask her, is technically a polite answer. But here's where that argument cracks. Diggs runs an active foundation. He runs a fashion label. He posts birthday tributes to staff, to teammates, to people he's worked with for 2 months. The man has a public-facing posture every single day. The idea that he was caught off guard by a question about his very public, very Instagram-documented child's mother, that doesn't pass the smell test. He was ready. He just chose minimum effort. Which brings us to the part nobody at the major outlets is saying out loud. The press will tell you this is 2 unrelated stories, a reluctant athlete and a stubborn YouTuber on the wrong side of a judgment. Mainstream framing wants you treating them as separate news cycles. Here's where I split off from the herd. What we're actually watching, in real time, is a PR architecture under stress. Cardi B is mid-album cycle, mid-baby rollout, mid-bankruptcy litigation, and mid-relationship status undefined. That's 4 narratives stacked. And every single one of them is being managed by her team, by the rotating cast of outlets who get the early call. The Tasha K filing isn't just a legal move. It's a narrative shield. Drop a six-figure number into the news cycle the same week your situationship looks shaky on camera. And watch what dominates the headlines. Watch which conversation dies. Watch which one survives. And before anybody clutches pearls, Cardi didn't pick June 3rd. The judge did. But her team knew when that filing was hitting. They've known since May 13th. 21-day deadline. You don't think the comms team had a calendar circled? Be serious. Now flip it. Diggs has his own machinery running. The Patriot situation is real. There are public conversations about his roster status, his cap hit, and whether he finishes the contract. He just signed an NFL receiver in his early 30s, coming off injury, navigating a high-profile blended family situation with a four-time mother. That's a brand risk calculation. Locking himself into "she's my girlfriend" on TMZ creates obligations. Obligations create headlines. Headlines create cap conversations he doesn't want. The cleanest play for him? Beautiful child's mother. Love her. Ask her. Translation. Keep me out of the soap opera. I have $43 million in unguaranteed money to think about. Some opposition jabs the comment section keeps recycling. He's just private. Bro runs a foundation gala and a clothing brand. They're co-parenting peacefully. Co-parents don't kiss at Mother's Day events on a step and repeat. Unless somebody approved that photo op. Cardi is using him. Cardi just dropped six figures in legal fees, protecting her name. Nobody fighting that hard is doing PR theater for free. He's in love, he's just shy. A man who openly campaigned to be on the Commanders is not shy. This is all manufactured. Half of it definitely is. The half that isn't the baby is the only part that matters, and that part can't be spun. The unspoken read is this. Nobody in this triangle is lying exactly, but nobody is telling the whole truth either. And that gap, that careful, lawyer-shaped, contract-shaped, foundation-shaped gap, is where the real story lives. He didn't say she was his woman. He didn't say she wasn't. That's not love. That's legal protection. Watch what happens in the next 48 hours. Expect a softer follow-up appearance, a podcast, an IG carousel. Something warm and lightly produced where Diggs is photographed with a baby. Not Cardi. The baby. That's the move that resets the narrative without committing him to anything verbal. The opposition camp, the "they're really together" stands, will eat it up and call it confirmation. It won't be. It'll be a placeholder. Don't be shocked when the Tasha K side fires back with a public statement framing the $110,000 ask as harassment dressed in pinstripes. Latasha's whole brand right now is the Oceanic Tradewind syndication play, the same agency behind Wendy Williams and Ricky Smiley. She's positioning to look bigger than the lawsuit. The court doesn't care about that positioning, though. The judge cares about billable hours, reasonable rates, and whether the fee request matches the work performed. Her camp can win the internet and still lose the docket. They probably will. By autumn, the real test lands when the Patriot season opens and Diggs is either suited up or quietly elsewhere. Once that contract picture clarifies, watch how fast the relationship narrative shifts with it. If he's healthy and starting, expect a soft public step toward Cardi. Engagement rumors, vacation pics, the works. If he's released or restructured, expect the child's mother framing to harden into something more permanent. The relationship status is tied to the job status. It always has been. 5 years out. The residue of this whole stretch won't be the gym video or the TMZ clip. It'll be a chapter in a longer book about how Cardi B navigated her late 20s. A woman who turned a defamation win into a precedent, who turned a co-parenting situation into a brand pillar, and who survived a stretch where every man in her orbit treated her as the variable in his equation. Tasha K's bankruptcy file becomes a footnote. Diggs' contract becomes trivia. Cardi's catalog and her kids stay. That's the part nobody on either camera was ready to say. That's the read. You won't get this breakdown anywhere else on this side of the algorithm. So smash the like, lock in that subscribe, ring the bell, and meet me in the comments. Tell me who you think blinks first. Fame Cryptix out.